A very good afternoon and a warm welcome to UBC Lunchtime News on this 21st day of August 2024. I'm Lorraine Masika Kazimoto here to bring you this afternoon's news bulletin. And we start off with our first headlining story this afternoon. Uganda's Prime Minister Robina Nabanja has praised the development support provided by the government of Italy and Avis, a civil society organization working in Uganda, for their efforts in equipping Ugandan youth with skills to combat unemployment. Nabanja made these remarks during her keynote address at the 45th edition of the Rimini meeting held in Italy. We have the details.
Minister Robina Nabanja, on arrival at Brugna International Airport in Italy, was received by the Ugandan ambassador to Italy, Elizabeth Paulana Peyog. Nabanja is in Italy to represent the country at the 45th edition of the Rimini meeting. The Ugandan Premier is accompanied by the State Minister for Agriculture, Fred Wino Chakulaga, and the Executive Director of the Uganda Investment Authority, Robert Mukiza.
The people of Italy, to convey greetings from His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, and the people of Uganda.
Nabanja commended the Italian government and the Avis, a civil society organization working in Uganda, for the continued support, especially the skilling of the Ugandan youth.
We are happy to work with Avis in Uganda. Avis manages 29 projects that directly benefit a number of people in Uganda. I am informed that Avis invests approximately 20.7 million euros annually, and this significantly contributes to Uganda's development. We look forward for further collaboration in skilling the youth, but also in other areas that touch the population's lives.
Nabanja is also in Italy to foster cooperation with the Italian companies to support the Ugandan farmers in value addition to coffee.
Uganda is one of the countries that produce organic food, and 40% of the Ugandan coffee is exported to Italy. However, a coffee producer earns only $2 US per kilogram. But the companies in Italy earn more than $30 per kilogram. That is where we want to partner, so that our people who produce the coffee can also earn a living and develop themselves.
Stephen Tumukungize, a Ugandan youth, is one of the successful stories after he was trained by Avis in the coffee value chain.
And thanks to Avis Foundation that I got some of these skills and I got the exposure. And at this moment I'm speaking in Italy in the Rimini meeting. Italy is actually the biggest coffee buyer of our coffee in Uganda. It actually consumes or imports 40% of the coffee that is produced in Uganda.
The Prime Minister informed the Italians that Uganda is moving towards creating opportunities to the youth through digital skills for sustainable development. Nabanja was also hosted on Radio Maria, one of the leading Catholic-founded radio stations headquartered in Rome in Italy, with several branches of radios in Uganda and the rest of the world. Jingo Francis reporting from Italy.
The Uganda Rotary Group is gearing up for this year's cancer run set for Saturday, 25th of August, with the primary goal of raising funds for the establishment of a cancer center at St. Francis Hospital in Zambia, which will offer radiotherapy services. Uganda and private sector institutions have been encouraged to support this cause, as statistics show that out of the 35,000 new cancer cases annually in Uganda, approximately 22,000 result in death, often due to late diagnosis. The 12th edition of the run is expected to attract over 30,000 participants and raise at least 3 billion shillings. Alex Aganya, Deputy Registrar General of the Uganda Registration Services Bureau, highlighted the importance of the institutional involvement in the run, urging organizations to demonstrate their commitment to humanity. Aganya made this call while receiving cancer run kits for his staff from Bokoto Rotary Club President Alice Bionjeire, emphasizing that participation in the run is a way for institutions to contribute to the fight against cancer in Uganda.
The candidate will at one point in time, either through affection or directly, will be affected by cancer. So this is the time that we should rally, support nationally, regionally, internationally to support this initiative. So this institution should really spare some money annually in their budget so that they support this initiative.
I think this is the time for all of us, whether institutions, whether individuals, to join and support the cancer cause. All institutions, wherever they are, big or small, they can make a contribution, and together we can make a difference.
And I want to encourage the whole population to rally behind this activity. I, for one, and our institution, we shall participate in this activity, and I want to see everybody on the road running.
With smiles.
Care International Uganda recently convened an exclusive meeting at the Royal Suites in Bugolobi. Among the attendees was Dr. Mugabe Richard, who reviewed the progress of a 3-year initiative currently underway in the West Nile region. We have the details.
That has always been at the forefront of also care has been integrating the gender norms. Because when the refugees come to Uganda, they come with their norms. So dealing with them, you have to have a mindset that appreciates where they're coming from.
During an event at Royal Suites in Bugolobi, Care International Uganda, in collaboration with the German Humanitarian Assistance, launched a 3-year initiative aimed at increasing access to life-saving sexual and reproductive health services and protection for displaced populations.
Improvement with this investment, the women are getting respectful care. We are seeing the numbers of women coming to attend antenatal care and deliveries in health facilities increase. And this has also led to a reduction in the number of mothers who are dying while giving birth. So we want to appreciate the Care International in Uganda, that was the implementing agency with funding support from the German federal government.
Dr. Mugabe Richard highlighted the progress Care Uganda has made in the West Nile region during his evaluation of the project.
The project has done well for the last 2 years. They have invested in these 2 districts in around 15 health facilities, buying equipment. They bought 1 ambulance and athletic machines to ensure that the quality of care for the mothers and the children is improved. So they've also invested in training healthcare workers and recruiting some of them as a way of supplementing the government efforts to deliver quality maternal and newborn care.
This initiative spans 3 countries, DR Congo, South Sudan and Uganda.
At national level, we have seen that through engagement with the Ministry of Health, we have been able to revise and update the MPDSR trainers guide, and of course this will help the trainers in the field to be able to facilitate trainings on MPDSR. In the community, we've seen a lot of improvements in terms of quality of services. How do we sustain some of the initiatives that we have started? So I call upon, the district leadership through the learnings that we have got from this project, they can be able to retain and scale up some of the models, like the community scorecard, which is basically empowering women to know their sexual reproductive health rights, to demand for these services, and also holds the duty bearers accountable.
CARE International's efforts focus on supporting refugees and asylum seekers in Uganda, reducing the risk of disease and preventing gender-based violence. Mashamiro Victor and Adia Nakuti for UBC News.
The Executive Director of the Petroleum Authority of Uganda, Ernest Rubondo, has urged the leadership of the Bunyoro Kingdom to remain vigilant as threats from opponents of Uganda's oil industry persist and continue to impact progress. Speaking during the graduation ceremony of the heavy vehicle drivers from the Bunyoro Kingdom, Rubondo highlighted that misinformation about the oil project is being spread in the region, with claims that it has not benefited the local population.
The Bunyoro Kingdom, with support from the China National Offshore Oil Corporation Uganda Limited, has been training heavy vehicle drivers as part of efforts to enhance local content in the oil industry. The Vice President of CNOC Uganda Limited, Mr. Mapieksin, expressed gratitude to the Bunyoro Kingdom for their strong partnership, which has led to the graduation of over 290 drivers since 2021. He reaffirmed CNOC Uganda's commitment to contributing to national content through various programs.
We have also conducted various capacity development and training programs, such as HGV driver training, welder training, technical skills development, heavy equipment and machine operators training programs.
The Executive Director, Petroleum Authority Uganda, Rubondo, said that people spreading false information in the area are even carrying placards with messages like "Stop EACOP," falsely claiming that the oil project has not benefited Ugandans.
People who have been trained here, you are now in a very good position to meet that person and say, but if this project is bad, how come I have been able to get this license? And using this license, I have been able to get this job.
Bunyoro Kingdom Prime Minister Owechitiibwa Andrew Byakutaga Atenyi, represented by Mr. Alex Katosabe, the Kingdom's Chief Administrative Secretary, expressed his gratitude to CNOC Uganda and other partners for their continued support of training and skilling programs for the people.
The gas industry is one that demands for great knowledge. It's a high-tech industry and capital intensive. The value chain applies for every stage of the sector, be it exploration, development, production, and those stages are linked to robust logistics and service industry, which the people who are graduating today will be involved in.
One of the trainees, Bagada Ashraf, thanked CNOC for ensuring that Ugandans are actively involved in the oil and gas sector.
Request absorption into CNOC Uganda, absorption into CNOC Uganda and other oil and gas sector companies.
Entebbe International Airport has registered a significant increase in the passenger and cargo traffic in the first half of 2024 as it fully recovers from the effects of COVID-19, which demonstrates the airport's importance in fostering international tourism and trade. This was revealed by Fred Bamwesije, the Director General, Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, while in the media engagement which aimed at providing an update on the development in the aviation industry. It's noted that a new business class facility is currently being erected within the terminal building, which will be completed early next year as part of further enhancement of the service provision.
90,115 departing passengers. This is an average of 5,886 passengers per day. In July 2024, Entebbe recorded cargo traffic of 4,123 metric tons of exports and 1,618 metric tons of imports. This is a total of 5,741 metric tons compared to 5,745 metric tons in the previous year. Export cargo grew by 18.9%, while import cargo saw a remarkable increase of 46.2%. But despite the growth trends, exports have generally remained higher than imports in the last 4 years.
We are expecting to have a state-of-the-art first and business launch in the region with all the facilities that are required of the first and business launch, which will be here. So you are seeing the construction is ongoing. Before, this place used to be occupied by some offices. Now we have rearranged it. So we expect that as we come to Christmas, that come December, we expect this place to be opened. So all this is still to support enhancement of facilitation at Entebbe International. Thank you very much.
UBC Lunchtime News. The State Minister for Kampala Metropolitan Affairs, Kabuye Chofatogabye, has urged parents and guardians to be vigilant in safeguarding their children as many return home for the second-term holidays. Minister Chofatogabye made these remarks while addressing Christians at Chigoma Parish during this year's Mother's Day celebration, Mother Mary's Day celebration. During the Mass, the Christians also embarked on a fundraising drive to gather resources for the construction of the parish church, which is projected to cost between 80 and 100 million shillings.
Kati abaana bayingidde holiday badde nno okukubiriza abantu basobole okulaba nti abaana baffe nga bagenze mu luwummula luno ate tusaana okulaba nti tukuuma abaana obulungi nga maama Maria bwe yakuuma omwana Yesu n'asobola okuba nti ssaawa eno yamulera bulungi n'amufuula omuntu omulungi ng'akyali mu bw'obuntu bwe naye bwe yamala omufuula omuntu omulungi naye n'asobola okukola omulimu gwa Katonda.
Kyambogo University's Barclays Library has been rehabilitated to meet the required standards of tertiary education. The rehabilitation works by Stabex International seeks to empower students, foster academic excellence and bridge educational gaps in under-resourced regions.
We were gathered here to hand over the renovation of a library in Kyambogo. It's just the startup and the beginning of a beautiful relationship that we intend to have with the Kyambogo University in the areas of research, in the eco-mobility, in quality control. So we intend to have a fully fledged library and a lab that will take care of all the needs in the sector.
Stabex has renovated the space and it looks beautiful, and we hope that it will inspire our students to develop novel innovations and novel ideas that will transform probably our country. So this is a very significant contribution that Stabex has made to the academic landscape of Kyambogo University.
This is just the beginning of a great list of partnerships that we have outlined to do with universities. Since now we are focusing on renewable energy and we are looking at our long-term strategy of phasing out the fossil fuels and purely going eco-friendly fuels. So that is why we choose now to partner with universities, also for research purposes and also to make sure that we're on the right track and we're not left out of the moving trend globally.
We will be working with the university to ensure that we select directly from the University of Kyambogo University as we fill in the needs, as we set up our management training program in the company. We shall be recruiting directly from the university as we go to the future.
The National Events Service Providers Award, NESPAS, is advocating for professionalism in rendering their services to enable them benchmark for excellence in the events service industry in Uganda through recognizing and celebrating their tireless efforts. These have now unveiled various categories of nominees to compete in the forthcoming award aimed at honoring their outstanding contributions to national events.
Industry have not been trained. Some of them do not understand what they are doing, but they just picked from somewhere because they do have a challenge of taking care of themselves. Some of them are, say, poor. Some of them are trying to recollect themselves. Some of them are trying to re-establish themselves. Say different event service providers. We want to collaborate and mentor a number of them so that they can be something. They can be proud of this industry as well. People have come together, different event service providers come together and form a body. And so, in a way, they do something that really impresses the government. They do something that pokes the government to a certain extent, and in this way, the government, once they have picked interest, they're able to say we can run with that body and also accord them some of the services. So let them support the government as well.
I get so disappointed when I see Jakogera decorators because I interact with many of them when I'm doing my catering thing. Gambotofu, they're not presenting or they are putting on lousy, the t-shirts, like, you know, but if we come up with rules and regulations that govern us and we present ourselves better, I think we can negotiate better and then get better deals. So the aim is to create supportive, sustainable and vibrant events, and a vibrant events community that enhances the capabilities, exposure, innovation and opportunities for its members, as well as advocating for the best practices and safe operating space.
UBC Lunchtime News takes a very short break, but we return with more stories. Don't move an inch.
Ekutosaku papapatetuwa musonga katino kuwa mukaganga satubuli mwezi guno gwa munana jangu kudamsu wota kuragime grounds tunyumirwe ngokuyingira jinja kuba emitwalo ebiri naye tiketi wogigulira ku MTN Momo ogifuna ku mutwalo gumu ye ya VIP ya mitwalo 3 katino nyiga *165*2 noti hash oba kozesa Momo app wegulire tiketi yo ku MTN Momo ku bei rahisi tosubwa abayimbi bonna ab'e Kampala n'ab'e Busoga papapatene tegekeddwa Douglas Rwanga ne kutuusibwako MTN.
Together we're unstoppable.
Uganda, are you ready to kick things up to the next level? The Uganda National Lottery brings you Sports Tech 10. Predict the results of 10 football games and win big. With tickets at only 500 shillings, join the fun and make your predictions count with Sports Tech 10. Sports Tech 10, your ticket to football glory.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Entebbe, Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Uganda fire! Entebbe fire! Ababona fire! Uganda! Thank you for showing your fire! Has Nabole Stadium opened its doors once again? Fire! Fire! You are moving You were the 12th player when Uganda Cranes needed you the most. Through our famous wins and our unlucky losses, you stood firm, supporting even louder. Now, as Uganda Cranes take on South Africa and Congo this September, South Sudan in October, and play our second legs against South Africa and Congo in November, bring even more fire! Because with your support, Uganda Cranes is unstoppable! Uganda Fire! Proudly brought to you by MTN, the #1 supporter of Uganda Cranes. Together, we are unstoppable.
Welcome back from that break, and we're glad that you're still with us here in UBC Lunchtime News. Now, in more news this afternoon, the Royal Netherlands Ambassador to Uganda, Frederick Quispel, has pledged her country's support to Uganda's agriculture sector. Ambassador Quispel made this commitment while launching a new fish feed in Jinja aimed at addressing the challenges caused by poor quality fish feeds, which have resulted in low income for fish farmers. The managing director of the Hughes, Mr. Bonjenk Willink, urged Ugandan fish farmers to adopt the new feed available in the market to maximize the benefits of their farming efforts.
Count from 3 to 1. We go 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you so much.
What's happening now, we build a plant that can produce many times the market, right? So it's quite an investment into the future. So the reason why we decided to do it now is that we saw serious development of fish farms. So there's been a growth of about 30–40% per year. We think now it's reached the capacity that it needs a fish feed plant.
Yeah, actually shops like this mean a lot, the economy, more so the economy of Jinja. Of course, it contributes directly to the budget of Jinja in terms of taxes. We expect them to be paying their license fees and other dues as shall be laid by our local government. So for us, we are very excited. We are optimistic that we shall benefit both directly and indirectly.
Come and utilize this feed. These feeds are good. Come and use it for your ponds, and I know you will not regret.
That a president with such a large background and experience in agriculture is a blessing for this country. And we are looking forward to working with him on achieving his vision for 2040 on the agriculture side of things. With the population growth of Uganda, this country also needs the economic growth to match that, and I think the agriculture business is key for that.
The Uganda Wildlife Authority has resumed hiking services to Margarita Peak in Kasese district, offering adventurers the chance to experience the breathtaking beauty of the region. This comes after a temporary suspension of activities due to the receding snow, which had created a depression that affected the hiking experience. The warden of Rwenzori Mountain National Park, George Businje, highlights the impacts of global warming and are becoming increasingly evident in the district, causing shifts in wildlife adaptation.
Margarita Peak, the highest point in Uganda, attracts thousands of tourists eager to witness the natural beauty of the Pearl of Africa. At 5,109 meters above sea level, equivalent to 5.1 kilometers, the trek to the peak and back takes a total of 7 days, including rest days in camps.
And once you reach there, you really feel very proud.
The experience includes appreciating various species of wild plants and animals before reaching the stunning view at the highest point.
The endemic species of plants and animals we have here. We have animals that are specifically here in Rwenzori Mountains National Park, like the Rwenzori Daika, the Rwenzori Turako, endemic here.
The cost for this experience ranges between 900 and 1,500 or 3.3 to 5.5 million Uganda shillings, depending on the concessionaires. Rwenzori Mountaineering and Rwenzori Trekking Services guide clients through this adventure.
This cost include the park entrance fees, the franchise fees, the VAT, which is 18%, of the total money a client pays. Then we give, it includes the porters and guides and chefs' food and charcoal fuel. It includes the cost of the chef that cooks for the clients. It includes clients' food. It includes trail maintenance. It includes accommodation in the mountain huts, and then administration plus the rescues.
Safety is a priority, and individuals with medical conditions are advised against trekking to the colder regions of the mountain.
Especially to deal with the respiratory system. Then you are not advised. Things like asthma.
For example, you need to take frequent drinking of water because these high altitude sicknesses are always up there. But as well as you need to be energetic and healthy.
However, emergency teams are always on standby to evacuate anyone who encounters challenges during the hike.
It's composed of locals. These are people who are born around here. They live around the mountains, the Rwenzori area. So they'll move very fast, carry you on the stretcher, bring you out. In maybe 2 days. For them, they move very fast because they are born around here. So we have a rescue team standby.
The Uganda Wildlife Authority had temporarily suspended activities to Margarita Peak due to melting glaciers, creating a depression that affected the hiking experience.
Then find stamina. We realized the crevasses. These are the holes when the snow recedes that were not easily accessible. You couldn't easily cross them to go to the Margarita Peak.
A team of engineers was deployed to erect a bridge to facilitate movement at the highest elevation of Margarita Peak.
We have actually resumed the hikes to the Margarita Peak. So the hiking activities to the Margarita Peak, which had been put on hold due to safety issues, we've been working tirelessly to ensure that we open up that route before the marathon starts. And therefore, from today onwards, if you want to go to the Margarita, you can actually go because we've enhanced the safety measures there, and so people are able to actually go and hike.
The depression resulted from global warming, which continues to pose a threat to the natural environment. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News.
Now, for our international news, the former President Barack Obama addressed Democrats in his home city of Chicago, saying Vice President Kamala Harris is the right choice to take on Donald Trump in the U.S. presidential elections this November. VOA's congressional correspondent Catherine Gibson has more from the second night of the Democratic National Convention.
A hometown welcome at the Democratic National Convention for former President Barack Obama.
America's ready for a new chapter. America's ready for a better story. We are ready for a President Kamala Harris.
Obama drew a direct comparison between Harris and her Republican opponent, former President Donald Trump.
Kamala Harris won't be focused on her problems. She'll be focused on yours. As president, she won't just cater to her own supporters and punish those who refuse to kiss the ring or bend the knee. She'll work on behalf of every American. That's who Kamala is.
Obama was introduced by his wife, Michelle, who said Harris's shortened campaign season should encourage Democrats to work even harder to elect her.
We cannot indulge our anxieties about whether this country will elect someone like Kamala instead of doing everything we can to get someone like Kamala elected.
Although Democrats already formalized their nomination process earlier this month, a ceremonial roll call of states.
Great state of Alabama proudly cast 56 votes for the first black woman president of the United States of America.
Showed the enthusiasm of Democrats for their new nominee.
All 34 of our votes for our next black woman and first South Asian president.
Harris thanked delegates remotely from her rally in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
So to everyone in Chicago and across America, thank you. Thank you.
Democrats also heard from Harris's husband, who called his wife a joyful warrior.
She'll lead from the belief that wherever we come from, whatever we look like, we're strongest when we fight for what we believe in, not just against what we fear.
The second night of the convention also featured former members of the Trump administration and Republican officials who have endorsed Harris.
Trump made a lot of lofty promises: unlimited economic growth, American manufacturing reborn, a secure border. Turns out Donald Trump was all talk.
On Wednesday, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz will address delegates formally accepting the party's nomination for vice president. Catherine Gibson at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, VOA News.
All right, now with that, UBC Lunchtime News has come to an end. Thank you so much for your company. I'm Lorraine Masika Kazumoto. Don't forget to keep warm. Have a good afternoon.
UBC, inspiring Uganda. Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Ambassadorial responsibilities involve balancing various political, economic, public relations and domestic and foreign interests. They require mutual respect and integrity among nations. Diplomacy is central to this balance, and when it falters, tensions rise. This week on your favorite program, we look into the complexities and issues that contribute to strained international relationships and government position on the national identification management. Join Timothy Nyangweso and the team of experts as they explore global diplomacy and the art of balancing mutual relationships among nations.
All on your public broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
My name is Damali Savi and I welcome you to this episode of the Ideation Corner. The Ideation Corner is a space where ideas are discussed and dissected. And today I host William Luyinda. William is the co-founder and CEO of Easier Greek, and he's going to tell us all about it. William, please tell us about Easier Greek.
Thanks, Damari, for giving us this opportunity for us to talk to the rest of the world about Easier Greek. Easier Greek, at Easier Greek, we really aspire for us to create endless farming possibilities by making agriculture as easy as possible using technology. So it's a very simple solution for the farmers out there. If at all you're a farmer out there, it's a matter of you just having your Android phone and just go on Google Play and download Easier Greek Farmer app. Then you're good to go about all the endless farming possibilities and how we are making agriculture as easy as possible with simple technology at the palm of your hands, which is your smartphone.
Okay. So I'm a farmer, or I want to be a farmer. I have my land. How does Easier Greek help me?
EasyAgric is a package of different tools which we believe that are going to change farmers or farming on this continent from the way it has been done for decades to a new generation of young blood, of innovative blood, of cool stuff to just make sure that agriculture is more profitable for our aunties, for our uncles, for our mothers, for our fathers and brothers and sisters. So if I tell you a farmer, it's just a matter of when you're onboarded into EasyAgric. EasyAgric will help you to map your garden. That's the first thing. For you to know your actual acreage, because we really understand that that's the gist of agriculture. For you to know the size of your land. There's no need for you, if I tell you a farmer, we have put sticks aside, we have put measuring tapes aside. It's just a matter of a smartphone, and you're able to use satellite technology for you to know the size of your garden.
Okay, so I have my Android phone, I download EasyAgric app. Then with it, I walk around my farm, the boundaries of the farm.
Exactly.
And it will tell me the size.
Yes. You don't need extra labor. You don't need extra resources. It's only yourself and your smartphone. They need to tell you the size of your garden.
Why is this important? You told me this is key.